Hello and welcome to another episode of today's GK. I am Pooja Divedi, and in this segment we bring to you objective questions on a daily basis to help you crack prelims. So let's begin with the practice question of the last segment. With reference to the state election commissions, consider the following statements. They are governed mainly by the Representation of People Act 1950. In preparation of electoral rolls for local body elections, it is necessary to coordinate with the Election Commission of India. So, here, as you can see, both the statements are with respect to a news that is of course about the importance of election in the next few days in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Punjab. So we have to select the correct statement. Now, if we talk about the first statement, it is definitely not correct. Every state has a special act for itself for governing the state election commissions. And also, Election Commission of India doesn't need to be coordinated along with state election commissions. They can have a voluntary rule with respect to it. So the correct answer is option D. And the State Election Commission, which has been making preparations for elections to urban local bodies, is watching the move of the Election Commission of India on the polls in 5 state assemblies, even though it is not obvious to the trend of rising numbers of fresh COVID-19 cases. Each state election commission are governed by a separate act of their own state, and some state laws allow the SEC to borrow and use the Election Commission of India's voters' role for the local body elections. That can be done. And in others, the State Commission uses the EC's voters list as the basis for the preparation and revision of rolls for municipality and panchayat elections. Now, few states have their own electoral rolls and do not adopt EC's role for local body polls, like those of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Odisha, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Odisha, Assam. Then again, if we talk about Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir are also there. So the SECs can supervise municipal and panchayat elections, and they are free to prepare their own electoral rolls for the local body elections. And it doesn't need to be coordinated with EC. Next question says, with reference to the National Tiger Conservation Authority, we have to consider the following statements. NTCA is a statutory body under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and it was constituted under enabling provisions of EPA 1986. So we have to select the correct statement. First statement is definitely correct. Second is not, because it is constituted under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Option A is correct. Recently, the 19th meeting of NTCA was held under the chairmanship of Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And it was established, NTCA, in 2005 following the recommendation of Tiger Task Force. And it was amended. The Wildlife Protection Act was amended in 2006 for strengthening tiger conservation as per powers and functions assigned to it. Consider the following statements. National Science Day celebrated to commemorate the birth anniversary of Sri Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman. Sir Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1930 for the discovery of the Raman effect. So we have to select the correct statement. So if we talk about the first statement, this is not correct, because it is celebrated to commemorate the discovery of the Raman effect and not the birth anniversary of Sri Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman. Second is correct. The correct answer is option B. And recently, the Union Minister of State for Science and Technology launched the theme of National Science Day 2022. The theme, Integrated Approach in Science and Tech for Sustainable Future. And NST celebrated every year on 28th February to commemorate the discovery of the Raman effect by Sir Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman. Sri Chandrasekhar Venkata Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1930, and the first NSD was celebrated in 1987. National Council for Science and Technology Communication of Ministry of Science and Technology is the nodal agency to support the celebration. Consider the following statements with respect to savannas. Savanna grow in 40 degree to 60 degree latitudes from equator, and grasses and trees that grow in the savanna have adapted to life with little water and hot temperature. We have to select the correct statement. Now, if we talk about the first statement, this is not correct. Savanna grow in approximately 8 degree to 20 degree latitudes from equator. And second is correct. The correct answer is option B. Now, as you can see, a statement, in general, savannas grow in tropical region 8 degree to 20 degree latitudes from the equator, first becomes incorrect. And deforestation in 2021 rose to the highest level since 2015 in Brazil's Cerrado, prompting scientists to raise alarm over the state of the world's most species-rich savanna. Now, the largest area of savanna are found in Africa, South America, Australia, India and Myanmar, Thailand, region in Asia and Madagascar. Conditions are warm to hot in all seasons, but significant rainfall occurs only for a few months each year, about October to March in the southern hemisphere and April to September in the northern hemisphere. And mean annual precipitation is generally 80 to 150 centimeter, although in some central continental locations it may be as low as 50 centimeter. The dry season is typically longer than the wet season, but it varies considerably from 2 to 11 months. Mean monthly temperature are about 10 to 20 degrees Celsius in the dry season and 20 to 30 in the wet season. Now, grasses and trees that grow in the savanna have adapted to life with little water and hot temperatures. Moving on, consider the following statements. The Article 148 provides for an independent office of the CAG. The CAG controls the entire financial system of the country at both center and state level. And the CAG holds the office at the pleasure of the President of India. We have to select the statement which is or are not correct. Now, first statement is definitely correct and so is second. But CAG never holds the office at the pleasure of the President. This is straight out incorrect. So the correct answer should be option C, because we had to select the statement which is or are not correct, right? According to a new CAG report, Gandhi Sagar Dam on Chambal River is in need of immediate repair, and CAG is a constitutional body. Article 148 provides for an independent office of the CAG. It is the supreme audit institution of India, and head of the Indian Audit and Accounts Department was created in 1753. Guardian of the public purse and controls the entire financial system of the country at both the levels, the center and state. The CAG is appointed by the President of India by a warrant under his hand and seal. Tenure is for a period of 6 years or up to the age of 65 years, whichever is earlier. CAG can be removed by the President on the same grounds and in the same manner as a judge of the Supreme Court. He doesn't hold his office till the pleasure of the President. Aquamation has been recently in the news. Which of the following statements most appropriately describe it? The correct answer is option A, that is flameless cremation. Now, recently the Nobel Peace Prize winner, Anglican Archbishop and anti-apartheid campaigner Desmond Tutu died. He was very passionate about protecting the environment, taking care of the environment by necessary actions. In concurrence of his passion to save the environment, his body underwent aquamation. It is a process in which the body of the deceased is immersed for a few hours in a mixture of water and a strong alkali in a pressurized metal cylinder and heated to around 150 degrees centigrade. The combination of the gentle water flows, temperature and alkalinity accentuate the breakdown of the organic material, and the process leaves behind bone fragments and a neutral liquid called effluent. And there is no tissue and no DNA left after the process is complete. Process of aquamation uses energy which is 5 times less than fire. It also reduces about 35% the amount of GHG that are emitted during cremation. The process is also known as water cremation, green cremation or chemical cremation. Which of the following countries have a border with Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Somalia, Rwanda? So we have to select the correct answer using the codes. First, if we talk about Zambia, it has a border with Tanzania and Malawi and also Rwanda, but not Zimbabwe and Somalia. So the correct answer is option B. 9 people have died and dozens are missing after a boat accident in Tanzania, and the boat was heading to Panza Island from Pemba when the accident happened. Tanzania is a country in East Africa within the African Great Lakes region, and it is bordered by Uganda to the north, Kenya to the northeast, Comoro Island and the Indian Ocean to the east, Mozambique and Malawi to the south, Zambia to the southwest and Rwanda, Burundi and Democratic Republic of Congo to the west. Mount Kilimanjaro, Africa's highest mountain, is in the northeastern region of Tanzania. As you can see, Tanzania on a map over here. Moving on, which of the following states has recently launched the Student Startups and Innovation Policy? The correct answer to this question is option D. Gujarat. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel has launched Student Startup and Innovation Policy for the next 5 years. And the new Student Startups and Innovation Policy intend to give assistance to 10,000 proof of concepts and prototypes developed by the students. Also give assistance to 1,000 proof of concept developed by school children. Provision of 5,000 rupees assistance for filing of students' creation of a strong pre-incubation support system in minimum 500 education institutes and universities. Provision of up to 5 crore rupees benefits in the next 5 years for setting up incubation centers and encourages the innovation activities in the universities of the state. Moving on, with respect to the National Martyrs Memorial Hussainiwala border, recently seen in the news, consider the following statements. It depicts an irresponsible, revolutionary spirit of the 3 national martyrs, namely S. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Ashfaq Ullah Khan. Batukeshwar Dutt, is also cremated here as per his last wish. So we have to select the statement which is or are not correct. Both the statements, if we talk about the first is not correct, second is correct. Because instead of Ashfaqullah Khan, it should be Sukhdev. And Batukeshwar Dutt, although he died in Delhi in 1965, he was not buried but cremated. Both are different. So first is definitely not correct, second is correct. The correct answer is option A. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's scheduled rally in Punjab's Firozpur has been cancelled due to breach in security yesterday. And the PM landed at Bhatinda, from where he was to go to the National Martyrs Memorial at Hussainiwala by helicopter. And after that, whatever happened is not the point here, because we are going to discuss about National Martyrs Memorial Hussainiwala, which depicts an irrepressible resolutionary spirit of three national martyrs, namely S. Bhagat Singh, Rajguru and Sukhdev. S. Bhagat Singh and B.K. Dutt threw a bomb in the Central Assembly Hall, New Delhi on April 8, 1929 to record their protest against the British rule in India, and he and his two brave comrades, Rajguru and Sukhdev, were tried for shooting a British police officer, Mr. Saunders, on the 17th December 1928, and these three revolutionaries were awarded death sentences. Following a hasty trial of the Lahore conspiracy case, they were executed a day earlier than the hanging schedule in the central jail, and the jail authorities then broke the back wall of the jail and secretly brought the dead bodies of them on the spot and then cremated them unceremoniously at the bank of river Satluj. So Batukeshwar Dutt died in Delhi on 19 July 1965, but he was cremated there. So consider the following statements with respect to Omisure. It has been developed in partnership with Tata MD and ICMR and detects the SARS-CoV-2, and it has two specific targets for the N gene that are Omicron specific targets. So we have to select the correct statement. First is correct, second is not correct, because instead of N gene, it should be S gene. Option A is correct. India has approved a new RT-PCR test kit that can detect whether a sample of COVID-19 positive is Omicron or not. And the Omicron detecting RT-PCR kit has been developed in partnership with Tata MD and ICMR. The new kit will test for Omicron in 4 hours and will augment genome sequencing effort in the country, which will have a fixed price of Rs 250 a test in the laboratories. According to the company, the kit will be available in the market from January 12. This kit is unique because in the sense it works in 2 levels. It detects SARS-CoV-2 and it has 2 specific targets for S gene that are Omicron specific targets. If the 2 S gene targets light up, COVID-19 positive sample is the variant of Omicron. The company said it is the first such test to use this method. It has 100% sensitivity and 99.25% specificity of SARS-CoV-2 variant, which is also including Omicron. Consider the following statements with respect to the Jagannath Temple Amendment Act. It aims to settle land-related issues of the temple, and no approval will be required for sale and lease of land in the name of Jagannath Temple. So we have to select the correct statement. Both are correct. With respect to this, the correct answer is option C. Now, if we talk about the historic decision the Odisha State Cabinet has taken on Wednesday, it approved amendments to the Sri Jagannath Temple Act of 1954. The recent amendments approved by the State Cabinet now decentralizes the power to settle land-related disputes of the temple. It has delegated the power to the temple administration and concerned officials for sale and lease of land in the name of Jagannath Temple. Unlike earlier, no approval will be required from the state government for the process, and through the sale of land used and unused, the temple will also generate additional corpus fund. The Cabinet has approved an amendment to this section, which implies that no prior sanction from the state government will be required for leasing out, mortgaging, or selling any immovable property owned by the temple. And the temple managing committee, administrative officials, and collectors of irrespective districts can take decisions in that regard from now onwards. Let's look at the practice question. Consider the following statements regarding the bioenergy crops. Bioenergy crops can induce a cooling effect on the areas where they are cultivated, and wheat, corn, maize, edible oilseeds, edible oils, sugarcane, and other crops are some of the bioenergy crops. So we have to select the correct statement or statements. So that's it for today. And we shall again meet tomorrow with respect to this segment. Until then, stay updated, stay safe. Thank you for watching.